Hi, I'm Cathy Carpenter, the Stenograph representative for Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee. Thanks for taking some time to learn how to use your new Luminex II. This training video will go over the opening menu and setup for your new Luminex II. The opening screen is the screen that you see when you don't have a job open, and it's where you make many of your setup changes or manage your SD cards. The agenda for this video is listed here. We will focus on the most commonly used features. You can reference the Luminex II manual for more detailed information. It can be found on our website under Downloads, then Manuals. I recommend you save the manual, which is a searchable PDF, to your desktop for future reference. You can also contact support for help with any of these features. This is the opening screen, and it's the screen you see when you turn on your machine or end a job. The menu at the bottom of the screen is touchscreen, and so is the title bar in the far left corner. I cover the touchscreen in the exterior features presentation, but we will go into more detail for some of the touchscreen features in this presentation. To access a feature, you can either touch the function sensor, the indentations above the number bar, that correspond with the menu option, or touch the menu option on the bottom of your screen. We're going to start off by taking a look at the storage options. Press the menu item that says Storage. When you select Storage, you will see all three areas of storage on your Luminex II: the SD card, internal memory, and the backup SD card. You can also select Thumb to see the jobs on a thumb drive. I want to take a moment here to explain the navigation for each feature that we will cover in this presentation. The heading of each page will have the first menu option from the opening screen, followed by the next menu option that you would select to get to the next screen. For example, we selected Storage, and now we will select SD card. The two menu options are divided by a dash. This will be the same format I will follow for all other features covered in this presentation. Now I'm going to select SD card menu option. This takes me into the options that apply to my SD card. If you want to know how much space is available on the SD card, you would select the Information menu option on the far left side of the screen. The Information button shows the percentage used and the amount of free space available. But for right now, we're going to go select Files to see the jobs on the SD card. That will now take me to my folders. Every month when you write your first job, the machine will create a folder. It's named by year and month. In this example, the year is 2021 and 01 is January. To see the jobs in the folder, use the up or down menu options to move to the folder you want to open and select Folder. In this case, I only have one folder, so I'll just select Folder from here. Here you see the individual jobs for that month. Again, I want to point out how you would get to this screen on your machine. I have the menu items listed in the title. From the opening screen, you would press Storage, then SD card, then Files, followed by Folder to get to the individual jobs. Here are a list of files in this folder. You have the name, which is year, month, day, dash, and then military time. Anything 11 and below is AM. Anything 12 and above is PM, followed by size and estimated number of pages. It also shows if there's an audio file associated with the job and whether or not a job dictionary was used. Your files will be much larger. My files are just created in my training sessions. Now let's take a look at how you would copy a job to a thumb drive. You must first select the jobs you want to copy by using the down and up menu options. Once you are on the job you want to copy, press the Select menu option. The selected file will turn yellow. You can select multiple jobs to copy. Once you have the job selected, put the thumb drive in the USB port in the back of the machine and press the Copy menu option. It will copy the steno and the associated audio file. As you can see in this example, it's very easy to copy a job off of your machine to a thumb drive. For added security, I recommend you throw that thumb drive in your purse or pocket. Don't put the thumb drive with your equipment. I've heard of reporters who have had their equipment stolen and the thieves took their entire bag. We recommend you use some form of cloud backup, but that's not always possible. so the thumb drive is a good alternative when stored separate from your equipment. Now let's look at another way to access the files on your SD data card. Look up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. This is the title bar. You will see a battery and a bar to the right of it. The green bar shows the charge status of the machine and will change color as your battery power is depleted. To the right of that is a little SD card with a bar. Right now it shows a lot of blue because my SD data card has a lot of free space available. We also see a microphone with a circle and a slash over it. This is just visual verification that you are not in a job or your audio is not turned on. Even if you have audio turned on, it will not be recording and saving audio when you are not in a job. To see the folders on your SD card, just touch the SD card or the bar next to it in the title bar area. This will display the folders available on the SD card. This is equivalent to pressing Storage from the opening screen, then SD card, and then Files. Again, touching the SD card in the title bar takes you directly to the folders on your Data SD card. After selecting Storage from the opening screen, you would select the card you want to format, either the SD card, which is the Data SD card, the one on the far left in the back of your machine, or the Backup SD card, which is the micro SD. By the way, we recommend you carry an extra SD card for backup. You may want to format the Data SD card to start clean and delete the steno and audio from previous jobs. As the Data SD card reaches capacity while writing on a job, the Luminex II beeps and a series of prompts warn that the Data SD card is almost full. Please note that the Backup SD card must be formatted in the Luminex II, and again, your machine will not work without this card. In the rare event it is necessary to retrieve a file from the Backup SD card, you can use the Backup Card Reader utility that can be downloaded from our website. The Backup SD card must be removed from the Luminex II and inserted into an SD flash card reader that connects to your computer. This device is one of the accessories that shipped with your new Luminex II. Many people think it's a thumb drive, but if you read the product description on the packaging, you will see that it is not. To format the Backup SD card, you select the SG Format menu option and follow the prompts to format the card. The Data SD card is just called Format, not SG Format, but it works the same. If you insert a new backup micro SD card when your machine is turned off, it will automatically prompt you to do the SG format when the Luminex II is powered on. The next feature on the opening screen, just to the right of Storage, is the Reopen menu option. This feature allows you to open an existing file. You can only reopen a job with associated audio on the same day it was created. For example, let's say you wrote in the morning, and at lunch you close the file in your Luminex II. After lunch, you realize that the same witness is going to continue with his testimony, so you open the morning file and append the afternoon testimony to it. That allows you to read back from your machine if they request a readback from the morning testimony. You can search, scroll, and play back audio in a reopened file. Reopen will display the folders. Select the folder for today's job, which will be the default folder. Press the Folder menu option to see your job from today. Then select Open to open today's job. Trying to open a job from a different day will result in an error. The next menu option on the opening screen is the Setup. We are going to press the Setup menu option. This takes us into the first screen for Setup. We are going to press the Translate Options menu. There are three translate options: AN resolution, auto conflict resolution, and use brief it. When selecting yes for brief it, there are two additional options available. You wouldn't use brief it if you are using a competitive CAT software. The briefs are not interchangeable, so you would want to use the briefing feature offered by your software. AN resolution automatically selects the correct word, A or AN, based on the word that follows. The steno translates as A before consonants and as AN before vowels in the numeral 8. Press the On-Off menu option to toggle between the choices. Press the Down menu option on the far left to move to the Auto Conflict Resolution feature. When turned on, it will automatically select the first choice of the conflict. This prevents the display of conflicts on the Luminex II screen for easier readback. This option does not affect the real-time output when writing real-time to a computer. Press the On-Off menu option to toggle between the choices. Press the Down menu option on the far left to move to the Use BriefIt option. This option must be set to Yes before beginning a job in order for BriefIt to be available on the Luminex II. Again, this feature only works with case catalysts. This option is set to No as the default. When BriefIt is active, the Luminex II defaults to the BriefIt view when you begin writing. Text shows on the left side of the screen, and the BriefIt pane is on the right. When Use BriefIt is set to Yes, two BriefIt options are available. The options are Write Twice to Define and Only Suggest One-Stroke Briefs. This allows you to customize how you use BriefIt. BriefIt, by default, automatically creates a JDefine the first time you use a suggested brief. When the Write Twice to Define option is active, you must consecutively write a brief twice before BriefIt creates a JDefine. All subsequent uses of the brief only need to be written once. Only Suggest One-Stroke Briefs is exactly that. It will only suggest one-stroke briefs. Press the On-Off menu option to toggle between choices and use the Down menu option to select the other two options for BriefIt. Now let's take a look at setting up audio. In order to get the audio menu option, you would need to select the OK menu option in the bottom far right of the screen. That takes you back to Setup, and you could select Audio. There are two ways to adjust or turn on audio. You can either select audio from the Setup screen, or you can touch the little microphone in the top left corner of the screen. As I mentioned earlier, when you're not in a job or if the audio is turned off, the microphone will have a circle and a slash through it. When you are in Setup or in a job with audio turned on, you will see a microphone bar that indicates audio is being recorded. You cannot be in a job to turn on audio. You will need to have your microphone plugged into the back of the machine, but do not plug in your earbuds or headset yet. I'm going to go ahead and select the audio menu option. This will take me into the Setup Audio screen. First, let's start by adjusting the microphone gain. If it's set on 70%, that is too high. You will hear buzzing and it's too loud. We want to turn down the microphone gain to 50%, so we are going to press the little minus key. It can be hard to see, but it is a little minus button that I have circled in the bottom portion of the screen. Press the minus key until your microphone gain gets to 50%. After you get the microphone gain to 50%, you can plug in your headphones or earbuds. You should be able to clearly hear the audio through your headset. If not, try another headset or earbuds. The audio is extremely reliable on this machine, and if the microphone is plugged in correctly, I've never had the audio not work on a new machine. Now let's move down to headset volume. To do this, select the Down menu option located at the bottom left of your screen. The headphone volume depends on your room. If you're in an older courthouse, you'll probably need it louder. If you're in a smaller room with good acoustics, you'll probably want it a little lower so the other people in the room can't hear what you're listening to. If you want to adjust it, you would press the quieter or louder menu options to the right of the date and time. Also, if you have a soft-spoken witness and you want to hear them better, turn up the headphone volume, not the microphone gain. If the microphone gain is turned up too high, you will hear a buzzing sound. You might also want to use the 6-foot audio cable that comes with the machine. This allows you to put the microphone closer to the witness. Next, let's turn on the audio. Press the Down menu option to move to Record Audio During Job. If pressing down skips this option, then you're in a job. Again, you cannot turn audio on or off when you are in a job. You will need to end your job and come back to this screen. Press the On-Off menu option located just to the right of the date and time on the bottom of your screen to toggle between turning your audio on and off. Now let's press the Down menu option again to go to Monitor Live Audio. Monitor live audio allows you to listen to the amplified audio during a job. A lot of people like this feature when the witness is soft-spoken and you have difficulty hearing their testimony. I use this feature during bench conferences. I would place a microphone in front of the judge and then put my headphones on to listen from my seat so I didn't have to go up to the bench. Press the On-Off menu option to the right of the date and time to turn this feature on. Next, let's press the Down menu option to move to the Auto Pause Resume feature. The Auto Pause Resume feature allows you to automatically pause the recording after a specific period of time passes and you are no longer writing. Audio recording automatically resumes when you begin writing. Using this feature can help conserve SD card space when recording audio on jobs where long or frequent pauses occur. Use the minus and plus menu options to the right of the date and time to set the amount of time that must pass before the audio is paused. The range is between 5 seconds and 15 minutes. A lot of my reporters like to set this at 2 minutes, but that's up to you. If you are not using Case Catalyst, check with your CAT software provider to verify that your software recognizes pause and resume commands. If not, I wouldn't recommend using this feature. Next, let's talk about the audio formats that are available on the Luminex II. Now let's press the Down menu option to move to the Audio Format option. This allows you to set the audio compression format, the codec, for the saved audio. There are 3 options. The highest quality audio is going to be Opus, which is 14.7 megabytes an hour in file size. Opus greatly improves audio fidelity compared to the other 2 audio options and offers the best quality audio available on a machine. The Opus option creates an Opus file extension. Your CAT software must be able to read Opus in order to use this file format. Case Catalyst version 20 or higher can use Opus. Eclipse version 10 will also support Opus. For all other CAT software, you would need to check with your vendor for compatibility information and read instructions. Another audio option is AV-PCM, which is 14.7 megabytes an hour in file size. This audio format is better than the third option, but not as good as the Opus option. The AV-PCM option creates a WAV file type. WAV files are compatible with all versions of Case Catalyst and most other CAT software. The lowest quality option is GSM, which is only 5.8 megabytes an hour in file size. The GSM option creates a WAV file type. Again, WAV files are compatible with all versions of Case Catalyst and most other CAT software. Press the Change menu option to toggle between the 3 audio formats. Audio recorded to the backup SD card is recorded at the lower quality GSM format regardless of this option setting. Press the Down menu option again to move to Hide Audio Meter. The audio meter shows you the current volume level of the audio as it's picked up by the microphone during recording. Hiding the audio meter can be useful when you do not want others to easily see on the Luminex II display that audio is being recorded. Select the Yes/No option to toggle between yes and no. Yes means the audio meter will be hidden. Now press the OK menu option at the bottom far right of the screen to go back to the Setup menu options. Next, we will look at the display options that you can change. I'm not going to go through each of these features individually. Most reporters use the colors and backlight options that are already set up on the machine, but you can play with these on your own if you want to make adjustments. I am going to briefly explain what each of these options do. Let's start with the color option. Your screen can display text in several different colors. You can change the colors for untranslates, question symbol, answer symbol, text, and conflicts. Next, we have the font option, which allows you to select between 5 font sizes. You can also pinch and zoom on the touch screen to change the font size. Backlight allows you to change the brightness of the backlight, set the screen to dim, this would use less battery, or to activate the screensaver. You would press the Quit menu option in the bottom right corner of the screen to go back to the setup screen. Next, we will look at changing the time or date on your machine. Again, this is located under the Setup menu option from the opening screen. So let's press the Time menu option. We would press the next menu option to move to the place where we needed to make a change. For example, if I needed to change the minutes, I would press Next to move to the day, Next again to move to the year, Next to move to the hour, and Next one more time to move to the minutes. I would press the little minus or plus menu options to toggle between the choices for whatever selection I've moved to. When you get to the correct time or date, press Accept to accept the change. If it doesn't change, then you forgot to press Accept before pressing Quit, which is a common mistake. Now press the Quit menu option in the bottom far right to go back to the setup screen. Wireless is another option that I'm just going to give you a brief overview on. Most reporters use the real-time cable, which is the most reliable way to connect to your computer. Let's start by looking at the two wireless options. Our options are Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The Luminex II supports Bluetooth communication for wireless real-time, but we do require that you use the StarTech Bluetooth adapter in your computer. You will also need to download and set up the Blue Soleil software. The software is free and can be downloaded from our website. Other wireless adapters and software may work, but have not been tested, so they are not supported at this time. The other form of wireless is Wi-Fi. The Luminex II comes with built-in Wi-Fi communication capabilities for wireless real-time writing. You will need to connect your computer and machine to the same Wi-Fi network to write wirelessly to Case Catalyst. Case Catalyst is the only software that I know of that supports connecting via Wi-Fi. The biggest issue with the Wi-Fi connection is that it is only as good as the network you are using. If the Wi-Fi is spotty, your real-time feed will be spotty too. A lot of reporters use their own router or hotspot for a more secure and stable Wi-Fi connection. If you need more detailed information, please feel free to contact support. They will be happy to help you set up your wireless communications. Let's press the Quit menu option in the bottom far right to go back to the Setup More options. Next, we will take a look at some of the options found under the More menu option in Setup. When we press More, we will see several options, but the one we will cover next is the Test Mode menu option. When you select Test Mode, this is the screen you will see. You would use this feature when taking a test. The screen also reminds you that Test Mode is automatically set to off when you turn your machine off and back on again. Press the On menu option to turn on this feature. Turning on this feature puts a red border on the top and bottom of your screen. This lets anyone monitoring the tests know that audio recording is disabled and that you are not saving steno to the backup or internal memory. To back out of this menu, we would turn off Test Mode and press OK. This would take us back to the More screen under Setup. The next menu option is Keyboard. We are going to select Keyboard and then Adjust. We will touch on Profile once you understand the keyboard and/or individual key settings. There are multiple settings that you can use to adjust the keyboard to your style of writing. Many users use the machine right out of the box with no adjustments, but there is that small percentage that need to make adjustments. That's the beauty of the newer technology. There are numerous adjustments to help to ensure your cleanest translation. First of all, I would like to recommend you work with support for these adjustments. The goal of this video isn't to make you an expert at adjusting your machine. The primary goal is to help you understand the capabilities of your machine. I hear of people who just live with stacking or sensitivity issues or dragging certain letters all the time. This is disappointing when I know that a couple of phone calls to support would have solved their problem. If after a few phone calls we still can't figure it out, we will pull your X-ray file. In the newer technology, we take multiple snapshots of each stroke and save it. This is created with every job you write. We can analyze that file and see everything about your writing. We can see what key you hit first, which key you came off of first, and the velocity at which each key was struck. We can see things you aren't even aware of doing. This is a very in-depth process, so we will try several other adjustments before pulling this file, but it's there if we need it. This screen displayed here is where we would go to adjust the entire keyboard. The top option, Keyboard Sensitivity, has 3 settings to make it either more or less sensitive. Less sensitive 1, less sensitive 2, less sensitive 3, or the reverse for more sensitivity. The next option, Split Stack Adjustment, also has 3 settings to adjust for either splitting or stacking. Again, less stacking 1, less stacking 2, etc. Transition time is the number of milliseconds between the release of a keystroke and when the machine recognizes the next keystroke. These are also adjusted to compensate for splitting and stacking. For example, if you are stacking, which is one of the most common issues, we would change the transition time from 18 milliseconds to 14 milliseconds, meaning the stroke would have been registered quicker. If you are splitting, we might increase that number. Return to factory default settings might be needed to go back to the original settings for this machine. Next, let's take a look at how to adjust individual keys. Press the Adjust Keys menu option in the bottom left of the screen. Pressing Adjust Keys will take you to a screen that displays all of the individual keys along the bottom of the screen. The white dashed line that you see in the middle of the screen represents the point at which a stroke is written. The blue you see above several of the letters is the automatic calibration. This will change as you adjust your depth of stroke because the machine is always calibrating for the highest possible transition rate. Next, let's take a look at how to adjust an individual key. When you press a key, in this example, I'm going to press the final P, you will see a blue bar that goes up as I press down on the P. When that blue bar crosses the white line, the P would have been written. After I release the P, you will see that letter is grayed out. This gray bar lets you know that this particular key will be the key you are changing with any adjustments. Now let's take a look at making an actual adjustment to an individual key. If you are shadowing or dragging a specific key on a consistent basis, we would want to make that key less sensitive, so it would take a little more effort to write that letter. For example, let's say you shadow the final L. Press the final L to make sure the letter is highlighted with the gray bar. Then press the Less menu option in the bottom left portion of the screen. You're going to want to press it 10 times. When we adjust a key, we start in increments of 10 and add in increments of 5. So if 10 isn't enough, we would make the final L less sensitive by 5 more for a total of 15 and so forth. Now you will see that the white dashed line above the final L has been raised. You will also see -10 below the final L. Now when you press the final L, you will see that it takes a little more effort for the blue bar to cross the white line. Again, when the blue bar crosses the white line, the key would have been written. We would do the opposite for a specific key that we consistently drop. For example, let's say you drop the final Z. I would press the final Z to make sure the letter is grayed out, and then I would press the More menu option, located on the bottom left side of the screen, 10 times. You will notice the white bar is lowered and there is a 10 displayed under the Z. Now when you press the Z, you will see that it takes less effort to cross the white line. If you are just playing around, please be sure to reset your keys back to normal before leaving the screen. You will see the Reset menu option on the bottom right portion of the screen. If you want to save these key settings, which I'm going to do in this example, you would press the Done menu option on the bottom far right side of the screen. After you press Done, you'll be taken to this screen. Then press the OK menu option on the bottom far right side of the screen. It's going to ask if you want to save this as a profile. If this is the only keyboard adjustment you want, you can say no to saving this as a profile. All of your new settings will still be used. If you want to have multiple keyboard settings saved, then say yes when asked if you would like to save this information to a profile. A keyboard profile is a group of saved keyboard settings. When you load a saved keyboard profile, the Luminex II automatically applies keyboard and key settings for that profile. You can have up to 10 different keyboard profiles. For example, let's say that when you are not tired, you have a tendency to shadow the final P and drop the final Z. I would have a profile that I might name AM since I'm usually fresh in the morning. And in this profile, I have those keys set as more or less sensitive by 10. But when I'm fatigued, I might want them set at more or less sensitive by 15, or maybe even 20. I could save those increased settings as a profile named PM, since I'm more likely to be fatigued in the afternoon. Then if I see I'm starting to shadow and drop when I'm fatigued, in the middle of a job, I can quickly select the PM profile to amp up my settings. Let's select the Yes menu option and take a look at how you would actually save a setting. You would use the Down menu option on the bottom left side of the screen to move down to an empty profile, or you could replace an existing profile. For this example, we're going to go down to an empty profile. You would then select the Save menu option. This is where you will fingerspell the name of your profile. I named mine PM. After you have named your profile, you will press the Accept menu option. Now you will see the newest profile listed at the top. Press the Cancel menu option on the bottom far right to leave this screen. You will also need to press the Quit menu option to go back to the More screen. We have another feature under Setup and More. That would be the Options menu option. This takes us to the Options screen. I would like to make one adjustment on this screen. I always change the option for clear J defines when turning on or ending a job. For non-Case Catalyst users, it should be set for always. To change this feature, press the Down menu option at the bottom left side of your screen to go down to clear J defines when turning on or ending a job. When you get to this feature, press the Change menu option to the right of Date and Time at the bottom of your screen. I would change it to either Always for competitive CAT software or Ask for Catalyst users. Always will always delete the J defines when you end a job, and Ask will prompt you to either delete them or keep them. Another helpful option on here for non-Case Catalyst users might be the USB communication. You can use standard or Mira emulation. You might want to use Mira emulation, which is the Elan Mira, if your CAT software doesn't have the Luminex in its list of available writers when setting up your real-time connection. Once this is done, press the OK menu option in the bottom right corner to leave this screen. In addition to your main, personal dictionary, you can use exported job dictionaries for translation when writing on the Luminex II. For both Case Catalyst and non-Stenograph CAT software, you would need to load the job dictionaries onto your machine. With Case Catalyst, you would just select the job dictionaries when you export your personal dictionary. It's very easy. When using the RTF to Writer program, you can load up to 7 job dictionaries on the Luminex II. You would export the job dictionary to RTF, just like you did your personal dictionary, and then use the RTF to Writer program to transfer the dictionaries to your new machine. You do need to always include your personal dictionary in these uploads. To select job dictionaries and set their priorities, 1. From the opening menu, touch the abbreviation for dictionary. From the dictionary menu, touch the Select menu option. The job dictionary is displayed in the order they were loaded. You can set job dictionary priority on the Luminex II. When a stroke appears in more than one dictionary with a different definition, the job dictionary with the highest priority is used to translate the stroke. All selected job dictionaries have a higher priority than your personal dictionary and the J defines in the machine. Let's take a look at some job dictionaries and explain how these work. Here is an example of two job dictionaries. The following information displays for each dictionary. The priority is the translation priority for the dictionary. 1 is the highest and 10 is the lowest when dictionaries are selected. I don't have any job dictionaries selected at this time, so you don't see any numbers in this example. Job dictionary name is the file name of the job dictionary. Next, we have the date and time the job dictionary was loaded on the Luminex II, and we see the size of the job dictionary. To select job dictionaries to use in translation and to set the priority, use the down and up menu options to move the pointer to the desired job dictionary and touch the select menu option to the right of date and time. In this screen, you see that I have selected job dictionaries and you see their priority on the left side of the screen next to the job dictionary. The dictionary priority is set in the order you select the dictionaries. To reorder the priority, touch the clear menu option on the bottom right side to deselect all the dictionaries so that you can reselect the dictionaries in the desired priority order. Select the Quit menu option on the bottom far right to exit this screen. And that concludes the end of this training video on the opening screen and setup options for your new Luminex II. I hope you found this information to be helpful. If you have any questions or need any assistance, please don't hesitate to contact me or technical support. We want you to love your new Luminex II, and we are here to help you write cleaner and with less fatigue.